Okay, so this is the beginning technically of like the second vlog experience of October, but I'm just going to like meld them together into one. Originally I picked out 10 books and that only took me like 12 days-ish, I think, to read. So for some reason I was like, screw it, I'm just gonna draw 21 more and try to read 31 books in October. I don't think that's going to actually happen. I don't have high hopes that I'll actually be able to do this, especially since there are some really long books in this entire experience that I theoretically need to read. For instance, the longest book that I have to read is The Fireman by Joe Hill, which thankfully I have a physical copy of because I love just hold on to a hefty book. But yeah, it is 752 pages. And the second longest book is The House of Leaves, which, let's see, that has 710 pages, only 40 less. There's also Ordinary Monsters, which is 672 pages, and Discovery of Witches, which is 579 pages. Thankfully, there are several novellas on here as well, like Mitchell Manor by S.R. Lineback is 100 pages, and let's see, Fever Dream by Samantha Schweblin is 183, and Things We Lost in the Fire is 192, so like novella-ish length. So there are several long books, but there are several short books to make up for it. I don't know. And then there are like quite a few mid-length books as well. 21 books. What was I thinking? Why did I do this? I don't know. At any rate, that's kind of what we're looking at. So my overall goal is to get a physical copy of House of Leaves and to kind of be reading that throughout, or perhaps just like let each individual video focus on one of the longer books and read the shorter ones like around them. Like usually I'm reading more than one book at a time, and I'll have like an ARC, an ebook, a physical book, and an audiobook. So House of Leaves could be my physical book, for instance, and then I could have like an ebook and an audiobook going at the same time. Right now my ARC is Haunting of Alejandra. That's probably not going to change for a little bit. We'll see. I don't know. That's my basic game plan. Is it a good one? Probably not. We'll see. At any rate, this is a very long list of books. I'm going to see which ones I can find like an audiobook form so that maybe I can just go ahead and start working on it. I made the mistake of opening up the ebook for House of Leaves because apparently you're supposed to have like a physical book of it. But I wanted to see kind of what I was looking at. And one of the first things that it says whenever you get into the actual story is, "This is not for you." Well, thank you for letting me know. You guys don't even know. I'm so intimidated by this book. Some of the ones that I'm looking forward to the most are, let me see, The Language of Thorns, which I didn't even know existed until very recently, and I was so excited to draw because I forgot that it existed. It's by Leigh Bardugo. It's in the Grishaverse. And yeah, I love some Grishaverse. I don't want to love Grishaverse because I feel like it gets a bad rep, but I do. I absolutely adore it. And yeah, it's just like basically short stories from the Grishaverse, and I'm totally here for it. Drawn Our Daughters sounds like it's going to be really good, but it's gonna hurt me. But I don't know, like the whole list, like there aren't any of them that are like, oh, I don't want to read that. Why the hell would I put that on there? Because there was one name that I drew like that. I drew it twice, but there was one name that I drew it like that, and I ended up just putting it into the toss pile because if I have that visceral of a response to it, then I'm probably just going to end up not reading it at the end of the day anyway. So yeah, thankfully I'm actually looking forward to reading all of these. It's just a matter of when and how. Okay, I kind of wanted to like update you guys on my plans for the day, which is not a lot. I'm basically just going to be doing homework today. I've been listening and reading the ebook copy of A Discovery of Witches though, and I'm about 4 chapters in, not very far, like for this book in particular. But I'm enjoying it so far. I actually didn't realize that it had vampires in it, which is intriguing because I haven't read anything with vampires in it for quite a while. But I'm about to make myself a cup of coffee and get to work. Honestly, the rest of today probably isn't going to be very eventful. I don't know if I'll even end up recording anything else today. Also, tomorrow is going to be the opposite, honestly. I have some things that I'm going to need to get done, and yeah. So basically tomorrow is going to be slightly chaotic, and I don't know if I'll be able to record that much for that reason. I need to make sure that a friend of mine gets to surgery on time and everything, and I need to be there ride, but I also need to make sure that my husband gets to work, and there's just like all these things that are going on. So yeah, if I don't record tomorrow, that's why. Never mind, I got that assignment done a lot quicker than I expected, like hours quicker than I expected. So I'm basically just going to be cleaning, making dinner, and reading, potentially. I have more homework to do, but I don't know if I want to work on it today. We'll see. That being said, please take a moment to look at this cat. Oh, she's so sleepy. She has such a hard life. What is it like to be a cat, Ezra? I'm going to drop something off for one of my friends, and I've been stuck in traffic for the last like 15 minutes, so that's going well. Okay, package dropped, and I am back home, about to go up, make some dinner, and chill for the evening with my husband. Probably get some reading done on my tablet for a little bit, like read one of my ebooks. I'm a few hours into the audiobook for Discovery of Witches, though, and it's actually really interesting. I didn't expect it to be as interesting as it is. Mostly because I've been avoiding vampire stuff for quite a while, honestly. But yeah, this might get me back into it. We'll see.
Crazy lights in the background just to stay competitive with men who don't do a fraction of that. But no, you're right. It is a disease. When you imagine a new disease, of course it's gonna sound unique, Melanie.
So apparently one of the books that I thought I had, I don't have. I'm guessing it was an ARC and the time expired on it. At any rate, I'm picking another book, and this is the first time that I'm recording anything with my husband actually home, and it's very nerve-wracking. I picked a thing. My husband is a witness, I did not cheat, but it's one that I've been wanting to read. It's The Haunting of Evelyn Jones. I started looking through the book that I drew from the pumpkin last, and I'm loving these illustrations so far. And this little quote, I live in a place where it's always dark and the wind never stops blowing. Beep beep. Literally just the first paragraph and I'm already caught. It had been the coldest October for years. Nobody could escape the wind's icy breath, which somehow managed to squeeze through even the thickest of scarves. Petals froze, pipes burst, people wobbled around on frosty pavements with their arms stuck out as if pretending to be airplanes. Schools closed early for half-term and children cheered. It is 1 a.m. October 18th. I got about 3 hours of sleep. Maybe that. Probably not even that. I don't know. But I need to wake up really early, like 4 a.m. early. And I can't get to sleep. I cannot properly sleep when I know that I have to get up that early. Like, I just consistently twitch and wake myself up repeatedly. I'm surprised that I was able to get the amount of sleep that I did. So now I'm just basically gonna chill and have some caffeine. Try to wake up fully. Ah yes, 1 a.m. Definitely the best time for me to watch it, you know, by myself in the dark. It's a great idea. Best idea ever. I've watched it several times, so I'm also reading some Haunting of Evelyn Jones at the moment. Not very far in, as you can see. I also got these orange Hostess snacks earlier, and they look very tasty. Okay, that's a lie. The orange kind of makes it look unappetizing, but it's Hostess, so I assume it's probably delicious and terrible for me. This old bitch knows exactly what's about to happen, and she just lets it happen. She just goes back inside and is like, I didn't see nothing. I forgot to update on Discovery of Witches. I'm over 100 pages in at this point, so close to like 25%-ish. I don't know, but I'm really enjoying it. It's definitely not quite what I expected. I certainly didn't expect there to be a yoga class in this book at any point, but there we are. This guy loves to attack shoes at night. I have no idea why. Tiffany. Ezra is disturbed by me giving Fenris attention. How dare I? Ezra, oh my god, you're so cute. I already love the way that they're describing things. This is... I don't know. So I already enjoy the way that they're describing things. I'm kind of glad that this is a series, because I can already tell that I'm gonna like this. So I switched to Scream 4 because I did a 1 through 3 marathon the other night, and I figured I'd just continue it. Another one of these chapter pages. Love it. She's poking around an old, like, dusty bookstore, and I just love books that are about books. And this one is just so atmospheric so far. Like, I'm loving the descriptions that Phil Hicks uses, and I'm hoping that it'll stay like this through the whole book. The man who owns this used bookstore is named Mr. Lieberman, and he's an absolute fucking delight. I love him.
If you're not using it, you're basically missing out on free money. So get Honey for free at joinhoney.com/billion. Once again, that is join.
The most rotten of cute.
To Lost in New York. Is that to be Tim Curry?
So it is like 11:30 p.m. October 19th. I haven't updated all day. I don't think I updated a lot yesterday, so I'm gonna catch you up. Basically, I needed to take a friend yesterday to go get surgery done, and there was a lot of back and forth, and yeah, so I didn't get a lot of reading or recording done then necessarily. Well, it's not true. I listened to my audiobook a bit. But this is about how far I am to the Fireman. I think it was 266 pages last time I checked. Unfortunately, not very far into A Discovery of Witches. 169 of 639, so, you know, like a sixth of the way there. And I actually finished The Haunting of Evelyn Jones by Phil Hicks, and give it 5 stars because it was amazing. I'm honestly really excited to read some of his other books because it's an ongoing series, and that makes me really happy. And yeah, it's supposed to be like, I don't know, elementary to middle grade, but I give no shits. I love kids' books, I love middle grade books, all of them are so good, and they're... When they're good, they're amazing. When they're bad, it's not a big deal because you didn't waste as much of your time as you would otherwise. But yeah, I really enjoyed it, would recommend it, especially if you just want something that's like a quick, atmospheric, kind of spoopy read that's just like the right amount of spoopy. But yeah, 5 out of 5. Did enjoy. Right now though, I'm about to throw on the audiobook for The Fireman, see how much more of that I can get done tonight, and play some Animal Crossing because I want to. I forgot to add that I've just been adding other books that I've read in October on here as well, because I finished The Haunting of Alejandra, and it was a disappointment not to be able to add it to the thing, but it was a 4-star read, and most of these are children's books, so the ratings are very skewed. But yes, The Haunting of Alejandra is really good. It was about La Llorona, I believe is how it's pronounced, and I really enjoyed that. That and Jokes to Offend Men were both arcs. I didn't enjoy Jokes to Offend Men. What was another one? Welcome to Pandora was another arc, but I really did enjoy that one. And I think that was all the arcs. But yeah. I've been trying not to fall behind on my arcs while I try to do this little whatever the hell I'm doing. So I decided I might as well count it towards my count for the month. So that adds on 9 at this moment in time. Making my overall count 20. So that's not too bad. It means that I technically only need like 11 more books to make it the 31. So I am over halfway through this book at this point, and I feel myself starting to get like the equivalent of Stephen King burnout. I hate to say it because I know that we kind of hate being compared to our parents sometimes, but Joe Hill, for the better and the worst, has kind of absorbed a lot of his father's habits. And one of those is tangents, another is kind of two-dimensional villains to some extent. Like, there are several villains in this, and don't get me wrong, they're very hateable, but they're also kind of two-dimensional, and it makes it more frustrating because it's like, I don't know, like, the one who's currently causing the issue, she has a motive and she has an understandable motive, but we don't get to know her, like, at all. Like, at all. None. So it's very frustrating. There's not really any nuance for how you feel about the character. You just, like, it ends up being straight up hate. And she's acting in an entirely unreasonable manner, and it's towards, you know, this pregnant woman, and it just, I don't know, it's getting to the point where it's very anxiety inducing, and there hasn't been a huge payoff, really. Like, I feel like this book could have been very easily like 200 pages shorter, at least, and still gotten its message across, but that's just me. I still like Joe Hill, don't get me wrong. Nosferatu is like one of my favorite books of all time. Even though it can go on a tangent sometimes too, but it's still like one of my favorite books of all time. But yeah, it's just it's a lot. That being said, I'm probably just gonna pause that for a little bit, because I find that when I just kind of pause with his stuff and come back to it, it's a lot more palatable. So I was going back over my reading list and I realized an issue. So you see how I have Things We Lost in the Fire by Mariana Enriquez on the list. Well, on the other section, I also have The Dangers of Smoking in Bed by Mariana Enriquez. So, since I don't think it's a great idea to have the same author on this list twice, I'm going to redraw for The Dangers of Smoking in Bed. If I can talk, that'd be good. Alright, I blotted number 19 out completely. Now it's time to draw. Welcome back, Pumpkin. You were missed. Let's see. A pink one. It is Sheets, which I believe is a short graphic novel. I'm not positive. I'm going to have to check. Okay, yes. It is a graphic novel by Brenna Thumler called Sheets. So it looks like Marjorie is 13 and she meets a ghost and he starts wreaking havoc on her life. Which is both good and bad because she kind of felt invisible before, like she was the ghost, but now stuff is actually happening in her life, so yay, but also he's destroying her life, so no. And I do have the ebook copy, so that's good. So I pulled up Grey's Anatomy to kind of play in the background because I've seen it a million times and it's just a good background show, but I haven't watched it from the beginning in a while. And Derek is the worst, honestly. Like, I feel like I realize that a little bit more every time I watch this show, but he's the fucking worst, honestly. Like, I'm just on the first episode, and I remember him doing much worse than he's doing right now, and he's already just the worst. So, I'm loving the attention to detail here. Like, that's so pretty. I love all the little fall leaves and the attention to detail with the buildings and everything. Very nice. The faces bother me a little, not gonna lie. Like that nose. I can't even explain why, but it bugs me. Got a library. This guy's the worst. Look at this cat. He's just squished in here. What's you doing, Finny? You're so handsome.
And just give that to the board is meeting next Tuesday. No support. And it was in
the illustrations as much as I thought I would, but it's still very fall, very atmospheric. You've heard of Panic at the Disco now. Panic at the Pie Place. Fenris decided to join us, and Ezra is not a fan. What's going on, Ezra? Is he in your space? How dare. So, I finished Pumpkinheads, and it's not bad. Please don't think I'm saying it's bad. I thought it was gay, though, like a lot more gay than it is. And didn't think that it was centered upon, this cis-hetero white man, But, it was not a bad story. It just, was not as, I don't know, interesting or cute or diverse really as I expected it to be, because it's hyped up by everybody, and I don't know, don't get me wrong, there are a lot of really atmospheric portions of this book, and I can see it being an important fall read, honestly, because it can be pretty atmospheric, but I don't know, I'm a little disappointed. It wasn't quite what I expected. I was hoping for another 5-star, and it's not. But that's okay. My stars are so deformed. Okay, so I majorly need to do some video editing, so I'm probably going to do that and just watch Grey's Anatomy for a little while. I might alternate between that and reading, but we'll see. So it seems that Fenris is, pretty comfortable at this point. Okay, I am done editing, publishing, and uploading one video. I still have another one that I need to work on, but I'm going to take a short break, for a little bit, I think? I don't know. At any rate, that first one was enough of a feat on its own. It was basically a matter of editing down 2 hours of footage down to, I think I got it to 40 minutes, maybe, and yeah. I'm going out to get some laundry supplies and to do some homework, so wish me luck. Feeney, hey Mr. Feeney, hey Mr. Feeney, hey Mr. Finney. Literally 686 pages into The Fireman. Joe Hill's writing can be a little ugly sometimes, he gets that from his dad, I guess, but it can also be very sweet. So there's a group and they're all infected with the plague, right? And they are trying to get to an area where sick people can gather, basically. But as they're going, there are people who are leaving things out for them, people who haven't been infected. And they're, leaving out food and, crutches and things like that they need along the way. She's kind of blinking away tears as she says, "So much kindness, so many people looking after us. They don't know a thing about us except we're in need. I read a Cormac McCarthy novel once about the end of the world. People hunting dogs and each other and frying up babies, and it was awful. But we need kindness like we need to eat. It satisfies something in us that we can't do without. One of the other characters is more jaded about it, but I just thought it was a very sweet take on the whole thing. So I finished the book, and I don't know how to feel about it. It's just like bittersweet. Like, I don't want to give away anything, but as for rating, I don't know. Joe Hill's writing is very hit or miss, I feel like. It kind of goes back and forth, and I don't know, there are things that I absolutely love about it, and there are things that I can't stand. Like, I'm fine with cussing, right? I cuss all the time. But he has this bad habit that his father has of just, like, slipping in, like, unnecessary cussing everywhere in ways that just, like, make no sense for the time being. Like, there's one point where someone's giving birth, and one of them's like, "You're giving birth, bitch!" And I don't know, for that moment in time, it felt completely out of place. That's just a small thing, though. Overall, I enjoyed it. I don't know how much more of their stuff I'm going to read, honestly, because of little things like that and the tangents and things. But, I don't know. I enjoy it enough that it might bring me back? I'm not sure. Either way, I'd probably give this one like a 3.5. Yeah, I'd say that's reasonable. Like 3.5. Alright, there we go. Fireman, 3.5. I also read The Haunting of Evelyn Jones, which I give a 5 star. Sheets, which I gave 4, and Pumpkinheads, which I gave a 3.5. That means I've read 4 books, though. So I am going to go ahead and end this vlog here, I think. I think this is probably a pretty good time. So far, I'd say that I'm enjoying these books on average. There have been a couple that have kind of disappointed me, but I'm enjoying them. If nothing else, it's worth it for The Haunting of Evelyn Jones. Like, I fully expected The Fireman to be a 5 star, but that's okay, because I got one out of this experience anyway. That being said, thank you so much for watching this vlog. I hope that you guys are doing well out there, staying as safe as you possibly can, and enjoying what's left of October. By the time I post this, it will probably be November. Still, I hope that you're enjoying your fall. I'll put it like that. But thanks again for watching. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe and all that stuff if you want to. If not, fine. It's whatever. The most important thing for you to do is to love yourself.